A very good evening, viewer. You're most welcome to the NILE CAST only on West Nile Television, where we give you the daily news bulletins of the day, every day from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. My name's Okumringa Christine. Before we dive into any of the stories, let's first have a look at the news making headlines today. In the headlines tonight, Nebi Catholic Diocese celebrates the 28th anniversary since 1996. Moyo General Hospital bans the use of the medical ambulance for transporting corpses. And Marcha District Council passes resolution to charge 10,000 shillings for loan applicants. This and more in the NILE CAST News Bulletin. It's the 23rd of February 2024. You're most welcome to the NILE CAST only on West Nile Television. Now let us dive into some of the stories of the evening. The administration of Moyo General Hospital has warned the general public in the district to stop approaching the hospital administration requesting for the hospital ambulance for transporting dead bodies, saying the use of the ambulance for transporting dead bodies has been banned with immediate effect. This warning was issued by Mr. Bessie Bernard, the senior hospital administrator for Moyo General Hospital, during the office visit. Okumu Dominic reports.
Most people in the district have been using the hospital ambulance for transporting the bodies of their loved ones to their homes since the district as a whole lacks other organized transport means for transporting dead bodies. Mr. Bessie Bernard, the senior hospital administrator, Moyo General Hospital, said they have been directed by the Ministry of Health to stop using the hospital ambulance for transporting dead bodies, or the ambulance will be withdrawn. He therefore urged the public to devise other means of transporting the dead bodies of their beloved ones, saying from henceforth the use of the hospital ambulance for transporting dead bodies are stopped.
The Ministry of Health has sent a very strong warning about ambulances being used as a means of transport to take dead bodies. And they have the Ministry of Health has actually threatened to withdraw these ambulances from the hospitals that use the ambulances for transporting dead bodies. We will not allow the few ambulances that we have to be retrieved because of fearing dead bodies, because it will be a great disservice to our people if we lose ambulances because we are using them for transporting dead bodies. In our region, I know it is very difficult because we do not have funeral services. But I think it is high time our business people thought about opening funeral services here, so that they can help our people when people pass on. There are alternatives apart from the ambulances. So we have stopped using the hospital ambulance for feeding dead bodies, and we ask the public to understand us, because if we continue to do that, we'll end up losing these ambulances and we'll have nothing to save lives.
Mr. Adnan Omar, a resident of Lefori sub-county, said if the government stops the use of the hospital ambulance for transporting dead bodies, it will cause a lot of problems for the public, not only in Moyo alone, but all over the country, especially for the poor people. It will be a problem for them to look for other means to transport the bodies of their loved ones home. He requests the government to instead increase the number of ambulances in the hospital rather than stopping the use of the ambulance for transporting dead bodies, saying the directive should only take place in developed places, not in undeveloped places.
Sasa ni kala ke konyero da ke oliku because amere ama votu kuru. Aristiri votura. Ikombea rakare ni mbisi kola ikombea kare ni house ni ko ikombea kare of the carnal jorisi. Oliki of the ability.
Mrs. Mania Rose, a resident of Metu, said she is saddened by the news that the hospital ambulance has been banned from transporting dead bodies, saying this is going to give the people a lot of hardship, but requests the government to provide other means of transport for transporting the dead bodies, and only requests the relatives to provide fuel instead of stopping the use of the ambulance completely.
Asila kwarade duka atea lenchini diaru kolo maiti ajijoko kola ware ka ba li diaria odisi asila sagarwa amana mazitidene kata Yesu diaru jama bodani diaru kurkuruma mutukari Yesu jileni kediri daga meti kamai ikonye ingoni kaya mane motukari endu zita ajijo maiti ajijo wa le ramana mane diaru misule asila zakwara mane ntarede.
Honorable Batio Joyce Udu, the Secretary for Health, Moyo District Local Government, said the Ministry of Health has directed that the ambulance should strictly be used for transporting patients, not dead bodies, and therefore request the hospital administration to engage the community in sensitization on the policy, saying she is aware this will affect the people so much because most of the people in the district are vulnerable, and implore the business owners in the district to improvise a means of transporting dead bodies.
The ambulance should strictly be used to ferry patients or to handle emergency cases, but not to be used to ferry dead bodies. So now, as the Secretary for Health and also Officer for Health wife, I'm requesting the hospital administrator, the administration generally, to carry on sensitization. The community should be sensitized about this new policy that has been sent by the Ministry of Health, so that our communities are aware that the ambulances that we have in the hospital is being restricted strictly to what? To ferry patients, but not the dead bodies. And I know it's really very absurd, because I know the community where we live, most of us are vulnerable. There are times our community cannot afford even to take home their loved ones whose lives are gone. And the ambulance has really been rendering their services so much. It has been helping the community. I know as a community we are going to feel a very big gap, but also let's try to take it into aspects. The life of the patients who needs the services of the ambulance, also the person whose life is gone, that also needs the services of the ambulance.
The Ministry of Health on 29th November 2023, through the Permanent Secretary for the Ministry, Dr. Diana Atwine, banned the use of government ambulance for transporting dead bodies during the handover of 116 Type B ambulance to various constituencies in the country at the ministry headquarters in Kampala. It's from this background that the ministry issued a warning letter to Moyo General Hospital against using the government ambulance for transporting dead bodies, saying the hospital risks the ambulance being withdrawn should it continue to be used for transporting dead bodies. I'm Dominic Anthony Okumu for West Nile TV, Nile Cast.
And more in our stories this evening. During the celebration of the 28th anniversary of Nebi Catholic Diocese, the Bishop of Nebi Catholic Diocese, Right Reverend Raphael Ponu Okorach, has advised the Christians in Greater Nebi region to seek for spiritual guidance during the 40 days of Lent. This celebration marks a stone for the preparation for the diocese to emulate the 2024 Namugongo Martyrs Day. Take a look.
According to the bishop, today's celebration is a milestone for the preparation for the diocese to animate 2024 Namugongo Martyrs Day. The bishop made this call this afternoon during the 28th anniversary and fundraising drive to raise funds to support the diocese as well. According to the bishop, God-fearing Christians always deliver what their God wants.
Prayer, that everything that is an obstacle on our way of faith, let us say, get behind me. Let the path be clear. Let the path be clear. Jesus has come to clear this path of growth of faith. He has done it with Peter. He has done it with other holy men and women also throughout the history. And you can even say that the life of the Uganda martyrs is a silent way of saying, get behind me, Satan. If you are obstructing me to witness to the faith in Jesus Christ. Let it be clear, this is our prayer. This, I believe, is what God is calling us to fulfill in our lives.
In the same event, Reverend Father Monsignor Jackson Usiga, the Vicar General Nebi Catholic Diocese, advised the Christians to use this Lent period to draw closer to God. Usiga expressed worry over rampant cases of people who misuse the Holy Cross to cause disunity among the community as prayer warriors.
Schools, we pray dearly that those who are in our schools watch out. Let us not make our children be confused by people who come and show that they are more religious than us. You watch out, otherwise they will confuse many of our Christians for nothing, especially with articles. I think also can be a recommendation to the priests, especially the parish priests and the curates, that where these articles are being sold, or those who sell these articles in our parishes, if they are Catholics, they should be recommended by you. They should be recommended by you. Otherwise, some of those articles, they are not of our faith. They are not of our religion.
Gabriel Okumu, Okoro County Member of Parliament, appealed to Christians to support the Namugongo mission that will be on 3rd June 2024. Okumu applauded Jangokoro Parish for their full support given to animate the Holy Mass during this year's Nebi Catholic Diocese. He said government is committed to extend services to grassroots and called upon clergies to preach against disunity as they interact with their Christians in their churches.
The Catholic Diocese is celebrating 28th anniversary since its inception. And this year in particular is remarkable because the Episcopal Conference of the Catholic Church also elected the Catholic Diocese to animate the June 3rd Uganda Martyrs celebration in Namugongo. This today, the diocese was mainly visiting its level of preparation to animate Namugongo. And here, for us, we decided to come here today, particularly myself, because Christ was brought nearer to the Christians. And also, the Catholic Diocese is taking the lead in the health of the Christian. We have Nyapeya Hospital, we have Angan, and other health centers, which was begun by the diocese or under the stewardship of the diocese. We have the schools, we have other institutions like vocational institutions. So in brief, NEBI Catholic Diocese is in partnership with the government to serve the people in a better way.
Jangokoro Parish was established in 2017 by Right Reverend Sanctus Lina Wanok, the former Bishop of NEBI Catholic Diocese. It was carved out of the Holy Family Parish Nyapea, and it has 4 zones, 15 chapels, and 124 small Christian communities. Alfred Jawok, West Nile TV, Nile Cast.
And more in our stories this evening. The District Executive Committee members and District Councillors of Maracha District have passed the resolution to charge 10,000 shillings as clearance fees on each loan applicant who is a Maracha District local government employee seeking to process a loan from financial institutions. Osuta Yusuf has more.
The resolution was passed during the 3rd Ordinary Council sitting of the 3rd session of the 3rd Council on Thursday, 22nd February 2024. In which the council members unanimously agreed to the resolution brought to the council by the District Executive Committee members.
Mr. Speaker, Master, this local government in a bid to enhance local revenue has identified and proposed loan application fee of Uganda shilling 10,000 and on each loan application presented for processing by employees of Matadis local government. Chapter 11, Article 189 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda and Section 30 and 31 of Local Government Act 240 lays down a long list of the mandatory service which a district council is mandated to provide to its residents as specified in the second schedule part 2 of the Act under decentralization policy. It also provides that 2 or more district councils may, in accordance with the decentralization policy, it provides that 2 or more districts may, in accordance with the Article 178 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995, as amended, cooperate in areas of culture and development, form, concur, and support councils in any matter in which they have a common interest, and in any case, local revenue enhancement working with neighboring district local governments and municipalities, including benchmarking on their successful practices. In our case, an average of 20 to 40 applications are endorsed per week, with an average potential revenue of Ugandan shilling 300,000 per week.
The councillor for Lewa Sub-County, Honorable Atiku Robert, welcomed the move and asked the district council to continue identifying more areas that can be taxed to generate local revenue.
Mr. Speaker, as you put it rightly, in fact, if we could continue to identify such kind of local revenue sources, we would not be complaining of our low, meager local revenue. Just when I started calculating, if all people are supposed to take loan, just like as it be calculated, 300,000, it will be around 300,000 on average in a week. And we have 52 weeks in a year. How much revenue shall we get? Yet from one source. In this again, we could go ahead and identify similar sources also. Will we still complain of having low revenue already?
Honorable Grace Asibazuyo, the councillor representing people of Alikwa and Yiv Sub-County, expressed her aforetime excitement on the proposed loan charge.
You know, our local revenue is the leader, and due to IRAS, we have realized a good local revenue in our district. So therefore, the word of the council could be who is supposed to collect this money.
She gleefully said that she fully trusts and has confidence in the person who will be in charge of collecting this money.
this money, we have our focal point person of IRAS, by name Mr. Dokini, who is going to collect this money. Mr. Speaker, I want to assure the council that we have transparency in our IRAS, whereby we have realized the money from which used to be 180 million to 600. The council need to applaud the finance committee for that.
Honorable Obite Stephen, the LC5 chairperson for Mercer District, asked people to embrace and own the decision of the council rather than running around the district to politicize it.
Some people are going to start politicizing this token on loan. Let's own this as a council of Maracha. After here, some people are going to go out. You know what? Chairman has now put some money on you as a Secretary of Finance. Oh, the deck has done this. I know parting with 10,000 may be hard for people, but that is a source of revenue. It has been benchmarked from other districts. If it can work very, very well in those districts, why not here? After all, realizing this money will even go a long way to improving some of the conditions of the loan applicants. They will be given better chances.
The Speaker for Mercer District, who presided over the council sitting, Right Honorable Wani Emmanuel, warned the general public not to dare attacking any council member or the district on social media over a decision that has been taken and agreed on by the district council.
People who know more than the council, they will begin to complain. Chair, I want to thank you with all the quotations here. I've been reading, I've been confirming, and the nations are very good. I would not love to see someone attacking the council in any of the political platforms. That the thieves, they are demanding 10,000 as a loan. What? You are all here. If there is somebody who wants to learn why we have done this, the person must come to the office. If there is someone who wants to ask you in your sub-county, if you don't have the responses, please, you direct the person to come. Otherwise, executive, I want to say thank you for this. How I wish you identify more.
Upon asking if any member of the district council is aggrieved over the resolution, the Speaker asked them to pass it.
Very clear. Is there any member who is objecting to this recommendation of the executive committee? Item number 2. Is there any member who is objecting? I want the people in the government to listen. Is there anyone who is saying, for me, I don't want this fee to be charged? I think we are all position that it must be charged. Is that the position? Yes, I've taken it.
According to the district executive committee report over the matter, they said it is a program they learned and copied during a benchmarking tour they traveled for recently in Buyukwe district and Arua district local government. Osuta Yusuf, National Television, NILE CAST.
And more in our stories this evening. After achieving 8 first grades for the first time in history, Majai Sid Secondary School in Ajamani District threw a party to celebrate their success and appreciate the different stakeholders for their efforts in achieving that success. Wazima Alan reports.
After achieving 8 first grades for the first time in history, Majai Sid Secondary School threw a party to celebrate their success and appreciate the different stakeholders for their efforts in achieving last year's success. Reverend Father Wilbert Obenchan, in his goodbye remarks to the school management of Majai Secondary, thanked the management for their commitment in academia, faith and life. He further thanked the different stakeholders for their commitment in ensuring that success prevails in the school and also appreciated members of the community for the love they have shown him at the time he had been with them at the school. Reverend Father Wilbert Obenchan urged his successors to have the time and zeal for pastoral work in the different academic institutions.
We have only 2 secondary schools in Lowan, Safarish, Majai SS, and then Adimani SS. So today, as I come to say bye and farewell to the school, I'm so much impressed and touched by their excellency and commitment in life, in faith, in academia. And more so today we have come to celebrate their success. We want to encourage them to give time for this educational time environment so that together we can always celebrate with them.
Evuma Nobat, the head teacher Maji Seed Secondary School, stated that the school administration decided to celebrate this year's results because it's the first of its kind, that the school has performed better, and thanked the different stakeholders, especially the district education office, parents, teachers, and the board of governors for the role they have played in achieving this success. He appealed to the parents to take education seriously and urged the 2024 Senior 4 candidates to work hard in the 2024 Uganda Certificate of Education examinations.
Today I am so happy, filled with happiness because of the excellent performance of our learners of last year. We are here celebrating such a good performance because it was not easy. It was through a lot of struggle, and since the start of the school, since it is the first of its kind, we decided to throw a party. This party is because we want to appreciate the efforts of the different stakeholders. That is the office of the district leadership, the education office, our board of governors, the PTA.
Thon Makwach Malek, Maji Seed Senior Secondary School's best student who managed to score 15 aggregates, appreciated his parents and teachers for supporting him in this struggle. He also thanked Windle Trust International for their sponsorship granted to him after he obtained aggregate 9 in primary 7 in the year 2019.
I sat senior for last year. I got 15 aggregates. So I thank Almighty God for the wonderful He has done to me. I thank Him so much. I also give thanks to my parents who supported me from senior 1 up to senior 4. They did not leave me behind, they supported me. I also thank my daughter, Middle International Uganda, for the support they have been giving me. They want very much for me. I got aggregate 9, division 1 in primary when I started in grade primary school in 2019. I got aggregate 9 and they took me.
In last year's Uganda Certificate of Education examinations, 109 students sat at Maji Seed Secondary School and 8 students managed to get grade 1, with the best getting aggregate 15, 25 got division 2, 32 were in grade 3, 38 were in grade 4, and 6 got grade 9. Onjima Alan, Mukulia Lawrence, West Nile TV, Nile Cast.
And more in our stories this evening, the Ministry of Energy and Economic Development, with funding from the World Bank through the Norwegian government, flagged off the electricity power lines project in Lobule Sub-County, Koboko District, meant to connect and supply people with electricity power in the various parts of the sub-county. Take a look.
The State Minister for Minerals in the Ministry of Energy and Economic Development has flagged off electricity power line distribution in Lobule Sub-County, Koboko District. The scale-up project funded by the World Bank through the Norwegian government, implemented by the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development sector, is meant to connect and supply people with electricity power in the various parts of the sub-county. Her Excellency Anne-Christine Hermansen, Norwegian ambassador to Uganda, said the project is meant to benefit both the refugees and the host communities so that they can live together a successful lives, and added that it's a support to Uganda since the country is hosting thousands of refugees and providing a conducive environment to live in.
So this is, of course, access to energy is a prerequisite for economic growth and for development. And we believe that assisting the refugee communities so that refugees can also create businesses and benefit the local communities together with the host communities is important. So I'm very pleased to be here today at this commissioning. And again, as I said also during my intervention, Norway commends Uganda for the very generous policy towards refugees.
Peter Lokeris, State Minister for Minerals in the Ministry of Energy and Economic Development, said connections will be to various places within the town and warn people against vandalizing the poles.
and she's going to connect the town and the areas I've already mentioned. I've already mentioned in my speech, and the officers and the companies will remain here. So it is a continuity for those lines who have not been energized, they are all going to be energized. The community is protected. You are right. There should not be any vandalization of our lives. Those people are causing us trouble, disrupting health services and so on. In fact, we take them as our enemy number one, who are going to disrupt the progress and development of our country.
Ratib Sanya, a resident of the area, said he plans to open up new businesses because it will ease work and improve on social service delivery in the area.
I planned to open a salon in the trading center, and then I also planned to bring machines photocopy, whereby I'll have a room here, and then I open that room, I do my photocopy here through the use of this power here. Yes, I've seen a total change. Those years back, without power, people would work the town, whereby you go there sometimes they use generators and the price for the photocopy is high. Now due to this power here, at least the cost of photocopying actually for stationery are reduced to some affordable prices.
Sam Malika James, another resident, says it will help supplying light to the people, especially those in the rural areas.
This project, this commissioning of this power will help us a lot, most especially the community, in the church, in the trading centers. I think we have parties being done in the rural areas. I think this same power will help us to work effectively using this power.
Once the project is completed, it's set to transform the community financially through boosting their businesses by giving them their reliable and cheap power. Peace Ushaki, Vasco Gift, West Nile TV, Nile Cast.
And more in our stories this evening, extreme weather conditions in Omoro district have forced the parish development model beneficiaries to divert funds from farming to market vending. According to the few beneficiaries who spoke to our West Nile television reporter, the move is not meant to violate the set guiding principles of the program, but it's one way they thought of enabling them to pay back the money as they keep the funds in the business, awaiting for the right time to re-inject the money back to its right intended use. Take a look.
Alice Ajok is one of the parish development model beneficiaries from Orafoy sub-county in Umor district. During our registration for the program, Alice expressed her interest in poultry keeping, and after receiving the fund, she invested half of her fund into the poultry project.
Karma po PDM ya du agamo atau kata bagian apa pegueno awilu gueno ini kepada well kita dom kana awilu kicam.
The remaining half of the fund, Alice decided to inject in the food vending project at Orafoy market. According to Alice, her second thought is proving to be more successful than the intended poultry projects she requested the fund for. Ali's story is one of the many in Orafoy sub-county, according to Geoffrey Ojok, the chairman Dawa Orafoy PDM Sako. Many, especially those who were intending to go for crop production, could not proceed as planned because the money came after the planting season.
This money, we gave it out to our beneficiaries, but the period we gave it like about 40 to 50% of our beneficiaries in their business plan was indicating agricultural activities like maize production, soya beans, but we gave it in this money we gave during November, October, November. So to me, like I see, some of our beneficiaries diverted this money to other businesses.
After diverting their funds, Geoffrey is expecting this member to begin embarking in their real project in Feb and March of 2024 as the new planting season comes over.
By June, July this year, we shall be seeing the actual outcome of the PTM fund. So we hope it will bring some changes to the community.
Now, much as the beneficiaries are appreciating government effort in bringing PDM at grassroots, local leaders like James Opeyo, the chairman LC3 of Orafoy sub-county, is worried that those who have diverted the fund are risking of losing the money.
When somebody submit his plan that I'm going to make a poultry keeping or like goat rearing, you find that when the person get the money, instead change his mind or our mind, start a business selling like clothes or starting a business like produce buying, which is not good. Because in the business, when you plan your plan and immediately you change the plan, it means that plan you are going to change, it was not in your work plan. And how to manage that business you change your plan will not going to be easy. So my fear is other people will going to lose their money, and it's going to be very difficult for them to recover the money back to the fund.
In the recent past, during our visit in Achule sub-region, the Minister of State for Economic Monitoring, Beatrice Akedo-Akure, tasked RDC to go down and ordered those who have diverted PDM fund to redirect the fund with immediate effects.
We have directed the RDCs to follow them up and to follow them up, to get them. If those who can still repurpose their funds, they should repurpose the funds. Those who cannot repurpose their funds, they should be arrested.
However, from the beneficiary like Oyo John Bosco, PDM was a life-saving program which resurrected his dream of inspiring young people in his community as he continued reaping big from the piggery project he initiated after receiving the fund.
I could call myself an inspirational young man to inspire the young youth around me. So you dream me to be a rich farmer in life. So right now, as I talk, because one even gave birth 18 piglets. Just 4 days in my room, I sleep with them.
Philadamu Chaya and her friend have teamed up for the business, and they are making great change in their community.
In late September, we got the money, PDM money. We are three in this business. We started with 300. We had booked 400, but they brought less. So they brought 300, and we sold the first lot after 1.5 months. This is now the second lot, and they are not even ready. Now,
according to Beatrice Akedo-Akure, the Minister of State for Economic Monitoring, about 25% of the PDM beneficiaries diverted their funds away from the intended purpose, and government is promising either to force them to redirect their funds back to the intended purpose or go to jail. Stephen Okeli, for West Nile Television, NILE CAST.
viewers, now you are welcome to the segment of sports. My name is Oraku Benson Pastore. Each and every day stories continues to break in the world of sports, and we always start giving it by what is happening within the region. We give you what is happening within the nation of Uganda. We talk about continental stories, and we finalize everything with what is coming. As far as international sports is concerned, much of what we cover in international sports is all about European League. Let's kickstart our discussion with what is happening within the region, particularly in Arua City, as some sports fans in Arua City have given the reasons and concerns as to why they do follow international sports more than local sports. If you take Africa at large, much of the football, not football fans, sports fans, they do follow international sports much more than local sports. Let's have the reported story.
I'm so much into European sports. Like I myself am a fan of Man U, and as you asked me, why are people too much into European sports and people are less interested into local sports? I say the reason is European sports is like it's more interesting, and you have those stars who, when you watch a match, and they do those kinds of, you know, their dribbles and how they shine outside there. It's a way that it's a way that it pulls people more, and it's a sport that started like long time ago. And we, like here, the locals, like in Africa, let me say, for example, we just started following them. Though we have like big stars, but I find we're more into like bigger leagues. Let me say like AFCON. That's when we get closer to like sports around. And in case when I talk of here in Arua, our sports, it's like too much fixed into like what kills us is like we're trying to divide teams into like tribe issues. That's why I think we cannot sit together and combine ourselves to build up our teams. That's the biggest challenge. And we don't have those strict rules that will like eliminate tribalism and so on. I think that's why we have sports, we have good games, we have good players, but we're not going so far. We're not united. We're not calling ourselves like as one. Football, if you look at the genesis of football, actually it's one of the biggest biggest sports that started. I myself, I love rugby. So I've been playing rugby. We started in Para. We promoted the Arua Rugby Club. Then we went to St. Joseph's College on Bachi. We brought it up there, and then after that we took it to Idiofe Girls. But currently the best team, the best school that is doing good in rugby is Idiofe Girls. Football itself, as I said, it's a little bit ancient. It started a long time ago. And I think that's why it takes a lot of like the lion's share of the sports in the world. And it's the simplest that we can, any person who joins sports gets to love it, and it's more interesting. I think it's more interesting than all other sporting activities. If you compare it to like rugby, maybe New Zealand, South Africa, take it to cricket, like India, I think it will take long for those to catch up. And they have like those complex rules and so on. Football is fun, it's simple.
Why people do love international sports more than our local sports is because, let me say, other guys feel it is because they don't spend much. Someone can just pay let me say, not 500 shillings to go and watch international games because they organize that the players are doing well. But our local sports, you may find, let me say, Jaga is performing well, but the club might not be doing whatever things he wants. That demoralizes a player. And also like corruption, let me talk about corruption. To be sincere, most of our clubs, these big clubs, they would wish to perform, they would wish to become big so that people will also wish to follow them like those international games, but due to corruption, you may find that it is not according to what the fans would expect. Like players will go out and they expect some allowances which is not being given. To me, I would wish that the managers of our clubs should work upon that corruption. They treat our players well. When someone is on injury, they give him that maximum attention. When a player is sick or what, like just give them they're including the entire family, they support them.
So for me, the football I love most is local sports. I follow clubs, folk division clubs, I follow regional clubs, I follow big league clubs and Azam Premier League clubs, especially the ones in Uganda. So as being a footballer, I don't support, I'm not a fan to any club because I know anytime I can play in any team. So I don't say that my team is Ondo Baraka or my team is Arwahil or my team is Leo. I support West Nile football. So concerning the question you asked about why is it that in Africa or in Uganda people love international sports compared to local sports? According to my own analysis, you know, international, those fights, they are more organized than us in terms of the organization. You know, football is all about organization. The way you organize yourself, it's the way you attract people to it. So in Europe, the people are far much organized in sports in terms of finances, their stadiums, the way they bring their games live on TV. So they are far much organized to compared to local sports.
Away from that, get into some of the stories that are happening within the region of West Nile. This time, the biggest story coming from West Nile region is all about the return of the second phase of West Nile Regional League, which is kickstarting tomorrow. Tomorrow is 24th of February and the year is 2024. Match day 12 of West Nile Regional League I am talking about. Tomorrow, we're having 6 games to be played, both in Nyagak Zone and in Nile Zone. Alpha Rising Stars will be staying at Pandur Stadium to welcome a team from Zombo called the Paida United. Meanwhile, Zeus Central will welcome Pakwati Young Stars, and Arua City will be taking a trip away to Padia Rising Stars. Meanwhile, for Yumbe Heroes, they will be sitting at home to take on Coach Abani. Yumbe Derby there, and also Ajuman Town Council at Paridi Stadium will be welcoming a side from Koboko DFA called Koboko Rising Stars. And the last game to be played tomorrow will still kickstart at 4 p.m. East African time, as the biggest of which will be happening in Nile Zone between Total FC and the table leaders in Nile Zone called Odamatako Central. Then come on Sunday, 25th of Feb 2024, 6 games to be played also. Nyahama will welcome Nebi Central as Pakwati Super Eagles takes a trip away to Kuluva Rainbow, and Pajob United will be welcoming the log leaders of Nyagak Zone called the Paida Black Angels. Meanwhile, Yumbe Hospital will welcome Araka in another Yumbe Derby, and BK City called Barakala City will jet to Das Nyai Youngsters of Koboko. And lastly, match day 12 will be finalized by a game between Moyo Town Council and the team of Tipsa. This game will be taking place at Teletele Stadium, that side of Moyo. And right now, on top of log in Nyagak Zone is Paida Black Angels, followed by Pakwati Young Stars, and the team that completes the top 3 ahead of the second phase is Paida United. Meanwhile, in Nile Zone, the team which is currently leading the zone in Nile Zone is Odamatako Central. They finished the first phase unbeaten without losing any single game. Meanwhile, the second team on the log is Coach Urban, and of course the team which completes the top 3 in Nile Zone or West Nile Regional League is a team called Total, one of the newly promoted sides. This time, let's jet our aeroplane to Europe, and we take a look at what happened yesterday night in UEFA Europa League and Europa Conference League, the second tier of European football, and at the same time, the third tier of European competition. I am talking about UEFA Europa League and also Europa Conference. This time, I'm not going to tell you the results, but I want to tell you the recent story, breaking story. It's all about the draws of both Europa League and Europa Conference. I know Liverpool fans, they are waiting to hear from me which team they are going to face. Let me start by giving you the draws of the other teams before I give you the team Liverpool is going to face. Sporting Lisbon of Portugal has been drawn against Atalanta, that comes from Italy. Meanwhile, AC Milan from Italy has been drawn against Slavia Praha of Czech, and another game will be between Villarreal of Spain as they have been drawn against Olympique de Marseille, that comes from France. Meanwhile, Karabag has been drawn against an unbeaten side called Bayer Leverkusen. For Rangers of Scotland, the runners-up of 2022 has been drawn against Soccer Lisboa Benfica. Soccer Lisboa Benfica went to the finals of Europa League way back in 2013 when they lost the encounter, the final, into the hands of the Blues. I mean Chelsea, this time in the round of 16, being drawn against Rangers of Scotland. Meanwhile, new boys, I'm talking about Brighton and Hove Albion, has been drawn against AS Roma of Lukaku, and Liverpool of England, I know people had been waiting for this one, has been drawn against Sparta Praha, and lastly Freiburg, that comes from German Bundesliga, has been drawn against West Ham United. And not only that, also the draws of UEFA Europa Conference League, because there are some people who are following Aston Villa. To me, the biggest draw, the most interesting draw is that one between Aston Villa that has been drawn against Ajax Amsterdam of Netherlands. Meanwhile, Union Saint-Gilloise, that comes from Belgium, is taking on Fenerbahce, that comes from Turkey. Club Brugge, another side from Belgium Jupiler League, has been drawn against a side from Norway called Molde. Dynamo Zagreb, that comes from Austria, is taking on PAOK Thessalonica, that comes from Greece Super League. Victoria Plzeň, the masters of Czech League, have been drawn against Servette, that comes from Switzerland. Meanwhile, Sturm Graz of Austrian Bundesliga is taking on Lille, that comes from France. Meanwhile, Fiorentina of Italy has been drawn against Maccabi Haifa, that comes from Israel. And lastly, Olympiacos de Peru, that comes from Olympiacos Peru, is a team that comes from Greece, and they have been drawn against Maccabi Tel Aviv, that comes from Israel. This is how the draws has been done as far as round of 16 of both UEFA Europa League and Europa Conference is concerned. And let's finalize our news tonight about one personality called Toni Kroos as he returns for German national team. He retired in 2021 around July, and the last competitive game he played for German national team was way back in 2020 in the round of 16 tie of Euro by then, and they were beaten by England. After that, he retired, and now Euro is coming, and it has been taken to his home country. I mean, the Euro of this year is hosted by Germany, and he's saying that he's going to return. In fact, it has already been confirmed as he returning for German national team. He was part of the squad of German national team that won 2014 World Cup, edging out it was Argentina by 1-0. I remember very well that solo goal was scored by Mario Götze, making Germany to lift the World Cup by then. And tomorrow, English Premier League is bouncing back, and also Carabao Cup final, I mean EFL Cup. It depends on the way how you want to call it, whether you want to call it Carling Cup, EFL Cup, Carabao Cup. On Sunday, Liverpool is taking on the team of Chelsea. This is how the final is going to be. For Liverpool, the game they are supposed to play over the weekend has already taken place. They played with the Luton. It was on Tuesday. They humiliated Luton by 4-1. Right now, they are the teams. They're actually the team leading the table in English Premier League. With that, we have come to the end of today's edition of NILE Cast. Not only NILE Cast Sports News, NILE Cast at large. It has been me, Benson Pastore, together with Christine Okumuringa, bringing it for you. We'll link up again tomorrow, as I will be in person to bring for you weekend edition of NILE Cast Sports News. I'm out of the studio. Have the best of your moments. As I had said, we'll link up again tomorrow.